Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on Become Six Figures, the channel dedicated to helping you make $100,000 or more a year every year from here on out. This is part of our 5 Tips On series, and today we're going to do a video on 5 tips on making money in the stock market. Now, before we get started, as always, please, I need you to go ahead and like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see our next few videos coming up, and turn your notification settings on so this way you don't miss a new video. We'll have videos coming out pretty much every few days over the next few months, so I hope you'll join us. Before we get started, let me just say this. I am not a financial advisor. The information I give here is for entertainment purposes only, and I ask that you please do your own research before you invest in stocks or options. Now, if you want a more extensive video on how to make money in a stock market that's down or up or on options, please let me know in the comments, and I'll go ahead and do a simple video for you guys in order to help you guys make money relatively easy. Let's get started. Tip 1. All right. Buy on quarterly earnings reports. Now, every quarter, publicly traded companies report earnings on financial statements. They release this information to the public. Usually, it's going to be the weeks following the end of March, June, September, and December. Now, here's what I use. I love earningswhisperers.com/calendar. They essentially give you the option to select a date so that you can see what companies are going to report earnings either before the market opens or after the market closes. And essentially, you can buy according to that. And also, great thing is, they'll give you the whole week's worth or the whole month's worth. So you can pick a date for tomorrow, for next month, and you can plan your strategy accordingly. So use that website to check out announcement dates. Now, good earnings obviously can send a stock soaring, and obviously bad earnings can send a stock falling. But here's one of the major fallacies in regards to stock invested. People think that everyone only makes money when the stock market goes up, and somehow nobody makes money when the stock market is going down. But that is a complete fallacy. In fact, there are actual investors out there whose niche is to make money when the stocks are going down. They short the stock. They buy options, put options. We'll discuss that later, but that's probably for a whole nother video. So people are definitely making money when the stock market is going up. And some of those same people wait to make more money when the stock market goes down. Tip number 2, buy on the news. Yes, indeed. Public companies tend to release news on a monthly basis, either via their communication personnel, press releases, but you'll see that news, and it'll be things like new products, store openings, factory openings, FDA approvals on pharmaceuticals, new hires. Maybe they got a new CEO. That's a great time to buy. Court victories. Yes, court victories sometimes send stocks soaring as well. So check the news at seekingalpha.com. The website is fantastic. I'm on it every day. The app is even better. So I say download the app. It is free. It should be your tool to essentially invest. It almost actually seems like when news comes out on Seeking Alpha, I can jump over to my Robinhood account and watch as that stock is going to start going up or down based upon the news that just came out a few minutes ago. So that's a tip for you. Good news on Seeking Alpha probably means the stock's going to bump a little bit on any app you're using. And I love Robinhood. I put a link down below. If you aren't on Robinhood, feel free to sign up. You'll get a free stock worth up to $200. I also like Webull, but I'm using my Robinhood account every day, multiple times a day. That's like my Instagram. I'm not always on Instagram, but Robinhood, I'm going to always be on. Now, some news won't move a stock. Now, is that really a big deal? No, but you're always going to want to see what news comes out, because if it moves a stock, it could be an easy 10%, 20% gain. What you want to do is check the current volume. So if the current volume is like 5 times the daily average volume, something's going to happen. And the tip is this. If the market is just about to open and you see the news, you read the news, you did some research, and you're thinking about buying a stock, and it says that the average daily volume is like 300 or 400,000 shares exchange hands a day. But as the market opens, the volume is over 2 million, 3 million. You may want to jump on because that's signaling that people also have seen the news and they're about to run this stock up. Now, obviously, you want to buy low, sell high. So if the stock does run up 30, 40%, 50%, 100% gain, congratulations, but always consider taking a little bit of profit off the top. And I oftentimes tell people if you hit a stock, you may want to take your base out. So if you invest $100 and the stock goes up 100%, you've made $100 profit. I would tell you to go ahead and sell off your base, which is the initial $100, leaving $100 in the stock. And then hopefully, that stock continues to go up. But you always want to put in a stop loss. You never want to lose more money in a stock than you have to. So if you're going to buy a stock this first second, the second you should be putting in a stop loss in order to trigger a sell at a specific price, essentially saving you a lot of money. We'll discuss that in another video another time. Hopefully most of you understand what that means, but if you don't, Google is always your best friend, and then YouTube always has videos and options. Check them out. Tip number 3, buy on internet trends. And you're saying, well, what is that? Listen, social media stock influencers. Yes, there are social media stock influencers. Okay. You think social media is just about fashion and vacations? No, there are financial social media influencers who can push a stock. And retail investors like the Wall Street Bets crew, they can dominate almost any one stock for any one day pretty easily. If you want to find out some of these internet trends and mentions, you want to go to sites like stocktwits.com, Twitter, Instagram, reddit.com/r/Wall Street Bets. That's where that crew is. Check it out. They're a great resource, and the more mentions online, the better. That just signals that essentially this stock may take off. If you see it on Twitter, you see it on Instagram, you see it on StockTwits, it may mean that that stock's going to take off over the next few days or next few weeks. Write it down, save it to your portfolio so you can track it and see what happens. Now, I need you all to be aware that some of these internet trends for specific stocks are going to be pumping up. I'm sure a lot of you heard about the GameStop and all those stocks that are meme stocks that have essentially run up pretty large profits for a lot of people and then have sold off the next day or even after market on the same day. So be very careful. You have to watch these stocks. If you're going to be dedicated to investing in stocks, you need to be dedicated to watching the stock. As I said before, when you buy a stock, the first second, the very next second after you purchase that stock should be putting in a stop loss. So this way you don't take a larger loss and you're willing to accept. And a stop loss is nothing more than if a stock goes down a certain amount or a specific stock price, you want to trigger an automatic sell of that stock. So Google it if you're not familiar. You need to make sure you're doing that. And a lot of times these stocks could be what's known as a quick hitter. What's that? It essentially means that you're going to hit a home run relatively quickly. The stock's going to jump 20, 30, 40, 50%, maybe 100%, maybe 200% or more. But then it's going to quickly move downwards, meaning everyone takes their profit, starts selling because they've earned this profit. They want to essentially maintain the profit, and the stock will start to tumble. So be very careful and make sure you're watching these stocks. Moves can be sporadic. You have to watch the stock market. I know a lot of you probably are watching now, have regular 9-to-5 jobs. A lot of you are probably working from home, or a lot of you just work from home. That's what your business is, and that's fantastic. But you need to make sure that if you're not going to be able to watch a stock pretty much, I'd say every few minutes, you may want to make sure you have that stop loss in. Otherwise, you could essentially turn around, buy a stock in the morning, do your work, and by lunchtime have made profit and lost all the profit. All right, tip number 4, buy on IPO day. What's IPO? So IPO stands for initial public offering. It's the first day a stock is available to the general public to buy. And the build up to that IPO day can really lead a stock to soar. And over the last few years, IPOs have been hot not so much now, but they have really been hot. And you can find IPO dates at investing.com/IPO-calendar or marketwatch.com/tools/IPO-calendar. Two great sites. I use both these sites. I love them. They're full of information. But those IPO calendars are really beneficial. So you can essentially put it on your calendar when a certain company is about to go IPO. Now, the more anticipation for an IPO, the better. Like I said, that buildup can really send a stock storm. So if you happen to see it on the news or the financial shows, you know other people are keeping track of it and they're waiting for that IPO so they can jump on board and make money. Now, one of the keys to IPOs is, can you get pre-IPO prices? So let's say a stock is going to come out IPO and it's been priced at $20. Now that pre-IPO price could be $16, even less, but that $4 from the pre-IPO to the IPO is almost guaranteed profit. As long as the stock opens and heads positive, you can sell off immediately and make that $4. Now, this is going to take some effort, a lot of phone calls. If you're already in the market, you can probably call your broker. Your broker may have insight on pre-IPO pricing. Or what you can essentially do is call the company directly and find out how you can essentially invest pre-IPO. A lot of great opportunities, but that's going to take some legwork. Like I said, if you're already in the market, call your broker. Sometimes Robinhood will have pre-IPO pricing. It's not exactly the same thing, but it gives you an opportunity to buy closer to the IPO price than after the IPO essentially launches, and 10 minutes later, that stock could be up 20, 30%. So look into it. Tip number 5, buy on media engagement. Now, stocks mentioned on the daily news signal alerts. Now, what does that mean? There are other institutional investors and hedge funds who essentially can drop $100 million in any stock on any given day. Now, obviously, you drop $100 million, that stock's going to go up. If you sell off $100 million, that stock is going to go down. So you want to make sure that you're listening out for either good news or bad news. Obviously, if bad news comes and those institutional investors decide to sell off the stock, you also want to get out of the stock as well. So watch investing channels like CNBC, my all-time favorite, Bloomberg, CNN Money, Fox Business, Cheddar. If you never heard of Cheddar, Google Cheddar. Cheddar has some great online segments and video series on a lot of things business. They're very motivational, so check those out. Also, watch investing shows like Mad Money with Jim Cramer, all-time favorite, Squawk Box, Closing Bell, Shark Tank. And now you're saying Shark Tank? Well, listen, a lot of you think financial news is boring, so you don't want to watch any of the other shows. But Shark Tank is legitimately an entrepreneurial show. It is nothing but talking business. So if you like that, you'll like these other shows too, but it's more entertainment value. So if you need to start somewhere, start there for the entertainment value. And I know you don't think finances is sexy, but you know what is sexy? Making money and being successful. That's sexy. So if you want to do that, watch some of these financial shows and start listening to what you think is boring, because it will essentially make it sexy for you if you keep watching. Now, when you hear a company mentioned, you need to check to see if it's a publicly traded company, whether it's on one of these financial shows, one of these entertainment shows. Just write it down. Write it down, do some research, do your own research. You should never, never buy without doing some research. And if you do decide to buy, again, stop loss is your friend. You need to make sure you're putting in a stop loss so you can automatically trigger a sell if a stock falls to a certain price. That's my greatest tip for you guys. So if you learn nothing else today, learn stop loss. It is going to be your friend. But again, if you see a stock mentioned, and if it's like on the internet, so if the Wall Street bets guys are talking about it, if the meme stock guys are talking about it, if you see it on Stock Twits and then you see it on CNBC and then you see Jim Cramer talking about it on Mad Money, write it down. Do some research. That stock is likely going to pop. It may be a quick hitter. It may be a short-term play. It may even be a long-term play. I have caught a number of stocks on a long-term play, meaning I actually held it more than a day or a week. I've actually held it for a few months and have consistently made profit over those few months. So you never know what kind of stock you're going to catch, but listen, write it down, do your research, and formalize a strategy for yourself. Purchase this stock. Tip number 6 is the bonus tip. Bonus. Yes, the bonus tip. Buy on unusual stock options activity. Now, a lot of you watching have heard of some of the other strategies. This one you may not have heard of. You may not even know what it is. So, options allow you to buy the rights, not the obligation, just the rights to a stock if it reaches a specific price, known as the target price. You can buy and sell options just like stocks, with one really good exception. If you buy a call which says that you believe the stock's can go up to a certain price, but instead that stock heads down immediately, that option may go from being 30, 40 cents to maybe being 10 cents. And sometimes you can take 100% loss on an option, whereas normally you'll almost never lose 100% on a stock. Most stocks aren't going to go from $10 to zero in a matter of a few days or a few weeks. So that's good news. But options give you that high risk and that really, really high reward. To see an option jump 100% on a day is routine. It happens all the time. You can catch an option jumping as much as 50% on a day in some scenarios. That's for another video, or simply Google, check YouTube. You'll see those discussions as well. Now, check for unusual option activity at barchart.com/options/unusual-activity. This is my all-time favorite site. I literally have this website up every day. It's one of my permanent windows that's just always open. It's always on this page, and all I do is hit refresh, and I see what people are buying. How many puts are people buying? A put says that you believe the stock's going to go lower. A call option believes the stock's going to go higher. So it's a fantastic site. I don't know why those options are free. And when I say options, I actually mean the options on the actual website. So on that website, everything essentially is free. You can upgrade to more premium, but I've never done so. I think that the free options are going to essentially work for you. You can sort by puts, by calls, by time, by stock symbol. So whatever you want to do, go there, check those out. And if you see a lot of activity on any one stock, like if you see 50,000 in options, being purchased, something is up, whether you're going to be put or call. That stock, something is up, and there may be an investor, whether it's inside trading, which happens. It may be illegal, but it definitely happens. But somebody may know something that you don't. So again, write it down, do your research, and if you decide to purchase, make sure you formalize a strategy that works best for you. All right, congratulations, guys. I want to thank you all for joining us on the video. We are here to help you become six figures. If you have any questions, please put it down below in the comment section. I promise you, I'm going to answer as many as I can. And if you really want a video on how to make money in a down stock market, or how to make money with options, put options, anything like that, put it in the comment section. I'll go ahead and do it. And once again, make sure you if you like the video, subscribe for our next coming videos, and make sure you have the notification settings on, because our next video is coming in just a few short days. I want to thank you all for joining us, and I love helping you guys. I hope you guys take this and go out there and make some money and become six figures.